This episode is brought to you by Wicked Groove. When you want that hard alcohol taste of sour apples, go with Wicked Groove. Boy. Alright, so in today's part, we've already done the diagnosis and determined that the O2 sensors are bad. So next, what we're going to do is pull the exhaust apart, and we'll pull the exhaust apart, pull the O2 sensors out. Now in this particular Sportster, 13mm or half inch is what you use for the nuts on the exhaust that attach to the head. And also 13 or half inch is what you'll use for removing the exhaust. Now as you can tell, this is a aftermarket exhaust on here. It's going to be fine. I got 2 bolts pretty much connected down to the exhaust and nuts, so I'll have to remove those, and that's what we'll be doing today. This episode is brought to you by Wicked Groove. When you want that hard alcohol taste of sour apples, go with Wicked Groove. Boy. Now, one of the things I'd like to keep in mind is that I'm using a 13mm 1/4 inch drive. See? Reason why is because if you use a 3/8, you end up having a little wiggle room to work with. And I have angle heads on these. And as many times as I've taken them off and putting them on, I know exactly what I'm doing. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to end up pulling the circuit breaker off. There we go. Pulling that main fuse off. Going to disconnect the O2 sensors. This makes it a lot easier in order to remove it. This way you don't have to worry about stripping it out or anything. Just remove the exhaust. And considering the exhaust and how easy it is to remove it, we'll go this route. That way you're not trying to finagle. Comes out, and let's try to keep stuff together. Voila. Now, because of what we can do, we can go ahead and this is a 7/8 wrench. There we go. On a car, you typically can't do this because of how they got it. And there goes my neighbor. Now, recently, my neighbor Ken, he ended up getting in a motorcycle accident. And here's the thing, though. He had a stroke, which caused his accident. Ken doesn't ride with a helmet. He ended up rear-ending a Denali on his motorcycle. Luckily, his bike, he was okay when he had full functionality in which he was able to do anything. Um, he rode his bike back home. He still wasn't okay, so his wife took him to the hospital. Turns out he had a stroke, and he also got a concussion as a result of him crashing because of having a stroke. So his bike is out of commission for right now until he can get that front fender fixed. Quite honest, though, don't need a ride with a front fender. I've done that on the V-Star which I had before I did the replacement on there. But pretty much all his friends have told him wear a helmet. He has one, but he chooses not to wear it. Dang it. Alright, there we go. Now I'll go back. Alright, bolts off, that's off, that's off, boom. And when we disconnect, mind you, I did a modification on here for this bike. So that way I could have this inside here. So that way I could put that on the other exhaust that I had. If you might recall in a previous video that it was located all the way down at the bottom and everything wrapped around here, so it was like right here. I don't plan on putting the exhaust on there. After riding the way that I have been and coming across too many idiots that aren't paying attention until you rev bomb, I preferred to keep the exhaust that I have on here. And some people say loud pipes don't save lives. I beg to differ. Now, you want a short-term solution, I recommend B12 chemical. And I recommend not to get the spray, but to go with the bottle. Simply because you can actually let your stuff soak inside there. I did that previously with those little two sensors, but I decided that I'm just going to replace. Now we wait for the UPS man.